the road from the house that brings us to the lower landing. Up here there is a nice water access point. The dogs usually use this side to drink water and play in. Along the side of the water there's a direct access trail to our 10x10 tiny house. And this is one of our most recent hugel beds that gets afternoon sun. Let's call this garden bed A, because I'd like to know what you think would be an ideal perennial for this plot in the comments below. And in the description, I'll link our long-lasting garden bed tutorial video on how you can build a low-maintenance garden, just like this one. Just past Garden A, we made ourselves a shortcut by repositioning the surrounding rocks to build this natural staircase. This is what it looked like before. And not only did we build stairs, but we integrated 3 small garden beds. We can call this trio Garden Bed B. Let us know what plants you think would function best in this garden in the comments. Up there is the office where we do business. And this is the original path that we took home before the stone stairs actually went in. Back down to the landing, we want to take you up to the water's edge, firstly to show you this little garden C, a small pocket built into the rocks and trees. On top of all our beds, we've been laying clover down so that we can reap the benefits of a cover crop to help retain the water and to help build healthy soil. At the top of the trail here, we arrive at the tiny house right next to Garden D. We built this wall using the trees as retainers to hold in the garden and utilize the natural slope for a deeper garden. This is the first hosta that we planted. When finding trees to use for hugel culture, most often we use what has already fallen and is already old. In this case, this tree was teetering near death and it posed a risk during windy storms. So out it came, and in place we planted 2 prolific growing sumacs. Let us know what plants you think we should grow in this convenient spot by the house. Up the first set of stone stairs we built here is another large garden made from deadfall. Over here we have a marker to mark down where we put a root of comfrey. Any markers that you see like this will be comfrey plants. This bed has some more work to be done. Hopefully the fall will give us enough leaves to work with. We framed this garden bed using beautifully mossed bark from the woods. The rock wall up here used to be covered in junipers. We really wanted to expose the beautiful rock so we could fill in the cracks with creepers and herbs, and so far we've planted lemon thyme and mint. Over here we have some fresh planted rosemary. And this is an extra cute little pocket of garden. We have yet to layer in more leaves, compost, and loam. Up on the slope here, above the pathway, we planted a hosta, and more comfrey. Let us know what you think we should plant here in this little garden E. Up here is going to eventually be a small pathway that leads to the top of the rocks. This way is garden F, which does come close to the bathroom. We were jokingly talking about putting in a full plot of soft lamb's ear to let guests know where the toilet paper is. And up here we have what we can call garden G at the top of the rocks. We plan to make this a beautiful centerpiece, so if you know of a combination of useful plants that might make great looking centerpieces, please let us know in the comments. The area around the rocks we will want to fill in with more logs and brush to increase the life of the garden bed, except over here we have the poison ivy growing back after we chopped and bagged it. So in future, I'll probably do a video on removing poison ivy once we manage to be successful. Over here is garden H. This was just a natural large trench that slopes down from the top of the rocks. We filled it all in with lots of logs and brush and leaves and the dead junipers that were surrounding the rocks here. Some tree suckers are popping up, which can be chop and dropped. And just to take you back over here, I want to show you the start of an unfinished pathway. These rocks will be repositioned like puzzle pieces into a border and continued stepping stones. Eventually, we will continue the pathway out in this direction where there is some more interesting terrain to work with, so we can show you that in future updates. Right now, we only have a handful of plants in, so any fruits that grow, such as these strawberries, end up getting eaten by the wildlife. But it's great to be able to invite nature in to help us maintain our gardens as we share the rewards with them. If we care to make advancement that matters, it is important to become inclusive of our fellow earthlings, because progression does not come from narrow and singular motives. It's the complexity of nature that fabricates the growth of life. Over here by the strawberries, we have this final pocket that could be good for smaller plants. Tell me in the comments what grows well with strawberries. Along the exterior of our main area, we have so far planted some lungwort as a general start to an animal deterrent wall, where over time we can protect more of the crops grown in our main area, and plan to provide wildlife with more growing food on the outside of the barrier. To help support the well-being of wildlife and the earth, go check out the 2 goals that you can help us meet over on our Patreon page linked below. We thank our first patron for signing up under the Forest tier. We'll be giving you an update on what we're going to plant with those proceeds.